Scott Russell, when all else fails, they take us to war. That's the saying, and we're watching here as the USA is about to go to war. We are also watching the collapse of the US currency. And like I've said, if you want to go back in my video feeds, I've talked a lot about some of these things and can fill in the details. But they don't give you warning when a currency is going to collapse. You'll wake up one day, the next day, it's gone. Overnight, boom, gone. And when you have desperate people, they do desperate things. And we're looking at a government here in the US that knows that its people will not be happy about the collapse of the currency, obviously, and that will spread globally. And so what are they doing? I believe they're going to war. And I think there's a globalist agenda that's also being met, which is quite convenient. Because if you're going to have a one world government, you can't have Iran doing its own thing. And the World Economic Forum and the globalists that are running a lot of the governments around the world, in that pyramid structure that comes from the WEF and the people behind the scenes there, the IMF, and it comes through the debt of our nations, the central bank digital currency is being implemented, and it all just sort of is dovetailing. And so I think we're going to see, before, as I've been saying, before the 2024 US presidential election, we will see the collapse of the US currency. They want the chaos to try to I think, manipulate the outcome of the election, or even try to cancel an election if they're able to do that. I think they're going to have the chaos, and in the chaos they're going to rise up and say, here's our answer. We have a central bank digital currency, which if anyone wants to do the due diligence to find out, you can see that that's what's going on. And that's a global thing. That's a global thing. So how do we do that? How do they put the final nails in the coffin? And when everything's failing, what do? They take you to war. And we are going to see, I believe, an escalation in the Middle East. I mean, there's so many strike force group over there, and I think there might even be two. There's all sorts of build up of troops and things going over there. That's not for a sightseeing tour. They know full well that this is going to escalate. And they're saying, well, if the Arab nations escalate it, we're ready for them. Well, what's different? I mean, really what they're saying, and that is, we're going to escalate it. We're going to do a false flag event, as if you can watch the videos on Israel. They pulled back from the border. They allowed Hamas to come over in gliders and things. And I mean, this thing saying there that an attack helicopter can be activated less than 5 minutes, can be anywhere in that border region. And they had 7 hours of an open border, 7 hours of an attack, 7 hours of atrocities. And as much as they want to blame that on Hamas, and as much as Hamas may be a terrible and is a terrible organization, the Israeli government has done something there to manipulate. When all else fails, they take you to war. The sad thing is, Australia, New Zealand, England, the civilized Western world, there's treaties in place. When the US goes to war, we have to go to war with them. When their currency goes, our currency goes. Central bank digital currency. Here in Australia, it's nearly a done deal. They already have the card released. Another thing they will do, they will run, because of inflation, they will run the central bank digital currency and cash side by side to try to get people, coerce people to use it. Then they will hyperinflate cash, decouple it from the card, and you will have a card, you'll have a chip. They already have the chip here. That's not conspiracy things. Quick word on conspiracy. If you're one of these people that's like, oh, they're conspiracy nuts, you know what? There's no telling you. Just keep doing your thing. But otherwise, I think, we're not talking about aliens. We're not talking about weird things that are out fringe out there somewhere. We're talking about hard facts that are happening, unfolding before our eyes if we choose to see them. That's my take. If you want to know what I think some of the things we can do to prepare for that, I suggest you go onto Too Free Scott on Facebook, Telegram, and look at some of the old videos in the feed of what I've been saying for well over a year, couple of years now. TikTok, you can't really go too far back in the feed because they close the old feed and we reopen another one. Keep going, keep preparing. Prepare yourself spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, because what's coming is going to be chaos.